Hello folks, Phil Gallagher of ThrabenU here for another Legacy video. Today's direct-to-YouTube special is brought to you by Chris R, who donated to see Painter in action 3 different times, actually. So today we're going to be testing out a red-green list. Now, Painter often splashes very lightly, and that's what we're doing today. And in fact, in the main deck, we only have one green card, Once Upon a Time, and we're usually looking to cast this for free. So, what is it that makes this deck list so interesting and exciting? And that's actually Magmatic Channeler. This was a card that got a decent amount of talk when it was first spoiled, and then kind of never really did anything, but I really like it here. As long as there's 4 more instant or sorcery cards in your graveyard, it gets +3/+1, so it turns into a 4/4. That's pretty huge. And so having a few extra instants or sorceries to turn that on is kind of nice, but we're not really playing it as a 4/4 for 1 in a red. That's not what we're doing. We're really interested in the second part. Discard a card, and then exile the top 2 cards of your library, then choose one of them. You may play that card this turn. So you can use Magmatic Channeler to funnel combo pieces, or something gross and disgusting and huge, into the graveyard, and then go and bring it back with Goblin Welders and Goblin Engineer. Magmatic Channeler is potentially a source of card advantage or filtering, depending on how exactly you want to think about it. And that's something that the Painter deck has always wanted. You want to be able to find these very specific cards to go and finish off your combo. And that's why things like Imperial Recruiter exist in the deck list. I'm really excited to try this out. One thing that I really like about this deck is that it has more artifacts. So to help cast these green cards, this is also playing Chromatic Star. Like we have 1 forest and a handful of fetch lands here, so we're basically a mono red deck. But Chromatic Star helps to cast green cards, and it's also just an artifact that, like, when it's put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you get to draw cards. You can weld this in and out to loop cards sort of the same way that you did with Astrolabe. Now, the timing's a little different. It's when it hits the graveyard rather than when it ETBs, but I think that's okay in the grand scheme of things. I don't think that speed difference is going to be that huge of a deal. It matters, but how much? I don't think a ton. Last time when I played Painter, I was really missing a couple more early game artifacts to play out and really make sure I had the critical density of things that I needed for Welder, and I think Chromatic Star is the bridge that's going to make that work. Notably, Sundering Titan has some new art I didn't know about, so that's sweet. Sideboard, perfectly built. What can I say? Carpet of Flowers is an awesome addition. Painter is a mana-hungry deck. You want to be, sometimes doing things like chaining Imperial Recruiters together, and Carpet helps out with that. There's also a couple of cute things in here. Most notably, a Meek Stone. Creatures with power 3 or greater don't untap during their controller's untap steps. So that can help out with large threats like Delver and Uro and Gurmag Angler and Sprite Dragon as a pseudo prison piece. And if you really have your own large threats, like say Magmatic Channeler has gotten huge, like you can weld Meekstone in and out to actually go and untap your stuff, which is pretty neat. All right, folks, if you are here for Painter content, please consider subscribing. I will be doing more Painter content next week as well. And if you're just here for generic Legacy content, consider throwing me a like or a subscription before we get started. All right, let's battle. Okay, I have a free Once Upon a Time with this hand, and like I have half the combo and the ability to find the other half. I like how this hand is starting to look out. Notably, and this will probably be a rarity, we do actually have the basic forest in this opening hand. Oh, and I should reset this upkeep stop. I may need that. Humans! Humans! Alright. I think I just want the land here. I think I just want the land here. Recruiter is cool, but making land drops is cooler. Do I throw him off by playing forest? That's kind of cheeky. I like it. So the real reason to go and play like forest here is make it less likely that my opponent is thinking about Painter for Meddling Mage specifically in this turn cycle. Um, Painter has a big butt. Magmatic Channeler can do some interesting things here. I think I just want to have this in play. Everything is blue. And now I can potentially blast things. Sure. I am not really worried about an elite spellbinder. Like, that does nothing to my hand. What are you doing? Alright, they thought about it for a while and took a Goblin Engineer. Okay. Everything is blue. Pyroblast can blow up anything. But Mother of Runes is also a thing. I could revoke and blow up immediately, but I don't think I need to do that. Do I try to win, or do I just play Ensnaring Bridge? I think I just try to win. Still have a few too many cards in my hand, even though my opponent has helped me out with that a bit. Sorry. You played Flooded Strand, fetched, and then didn't use Cavern of Souls? I mean, I'll Pyroblast. I just don't really understand. Alright, it's 1 to do this. Or just play another Welder rather than hold this up. Like, I can get the Grindstone into now. Let's just do the thing that Goldfish is. Sure. Sure. Glad I did the thing that Goldfish is. Firm. Yep. Earn Grindstone. Pay 1. Sacrifice this. My opponent is Hellbent, which means they are dead. I do think my opponent potentially had other agency options in this game. I think they could have used their Mother of Runes to try to force damage through some of my early bodies. I don't think that results in a kill, but it would have resulted in more pressure being put on me. Alright, Pyrokinesis is probably pretty sick. Wormcoil Engine is great to have access to. Meekstone is interesting. I might play it, I might not. And another Revoker is kind of eh. I don't think I just want to Ancient Grudge for Vile. Like, Vile is a great card, don't get me wrong. But I don't think I'm super worried about it. Like, not enough to play Ancient Grudge. Maybe enough to play another Revoker. What don't I want? Thundering Titan is almost more likely to blow up my lands than their lands. And my opponent can be playing just white base removal. That's pretty good. Magus is eh. I played Magus on the play, but not on the draw. It's nice to have access to, but my opponent was playing a lot of basics and fetching them out very proactively. Let's not do this on the draw. I wonder if I'm supposed to cut Once Upon a Times. Because most of my other cards just seem good. Like, even some of these just have decent-sized butts, so things like Thalia's don't initially get through. Yeah. This makes it so I don't really need to think about my green mana ever. And that's just 5 cards for 5 cards. It's a little awkward to, like, board in a Meekstone while also boarding in Wormcoil. Maybe I don't play Wormcoil and Sundering Titan. Yeah, let's board this out and keep the Magus. Maybe I can't board out all the Once Upon a Times consistently on 18 lands. I don't know that math. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, hold on. Let's drag this around. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 mana already towards a Wormcoil Engine. This hand is weird as a hell, but I think I keep it. Or I can just Recruiter on turn 1. Let's Recruiter on turn 1. Like, the early Painter Servant is so strong here, in this hand specifically. Fair? Also fair. And got considerably worse in the face of that Wasteland. I think I'm supposed to put the Painter Servant into play. Because I have multiple grindstones. And I don't think I attack with Imperial Recruiter. Because if another 1-drop were to come in and grow that, it would be bad for me. Exhibit A. Also, like, please attack me. Like, if I block with Painter, and I won't because you can either Vile in, and it's like so good for you. I think my opponent is playing too conservatively. I think I just go to my opponent's turn, see if they Vile in something. They don't violin something. I think I destroy their ether vial with this trigger on the stack. Nice. Alright, let's just see if I goldfish them. I have to remove Painter. Alright, they did. That's okay. Really? 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 Okay, that's a little annoying here. The attacks of 2? Might be able to get more than 3 life out of this recruiter later. I just grind myself this turn. Alright, that's a lot of pressure. Those top decks have been quite good here. Now I'll cash in the recruiter for life. Do this now. Okay. This is a little unfortunate here. We'll see if my opponent realizes how much damage they have. Alright, well, I die. That's okay. I feel like that worked out exceptionally well for my opponent. Do I want to change anything? Do I want to change a Once Upon a Time in when I'm on the play? Versus Chromatic Star? I want this on the play. Like on the play, Revoker becomes a little less important. Do something like that. Just help me get the busted combo hands that goldfish that I think will just beat my opponent's deck. Alright, I've kept a very balanced opening hand. Ancient Tomb? Ancient Tomb's pretty sick. But it may just be better to take a recruiter for redundancy. Like, I'm in a hurry. I don't know that I'm in that much of a hurry. Man, I would like to cheat this into play. Not quite there yet. But I hope to be there soon. Now, notably, I do have an artifact land. So I can weld that in and out, potentially. I need to get an artifact into graveyard. I think I'm playing an Imperial Recruiter next turn. Oh, Goblin Engineer is very good. I think I'm just supposed to Imperial Recruiter for Magmatic Channeler and assume that Wormcoil Engine beats my opponent. Engineer to put Ensnaring Bridge into graveyard right now, though, is also pretty sick. Now it's kind of awkward that I drew the Wormcoil Engine, because I could just be welding it into play right now. I can also just weld a Revoker in right now, shut off both those vials. I do not hate that. Now I have a decent amount of power in play. That's fine. Okay, that's also kind of fine. Like, I can weld stuff in and out. I think I just need to get a Magmatic Channeler. Get Wormcoil Engine into the graveyard and go from there. Okay. Sure. Obviously not really what I was expecting, but it is what it is. So this is the big turn where I'm vulnerable. Everything should be hunky-dory next turn as long as I can discard this Wormcoil Engine. Let's see what this is. Okay. 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 Like, my opponent's draw here was above average. All right. So we'll switch Great Furnace. Oh, this costs me a mana. Shit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mm, mm. Ugh. Like engineer was a beating. I guess I'm welding. Like, I get a card out of this. I pay red. I sacrifice an artifact. What I'm looking for. Like, ensnaring bridge was one of the big things there. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, not great. Can get a bridge off the top, but otherwise I think I'm dead. I'll block a 2/2, and my opponent will Thalia's Lieutenant or something and kill me. I think my opponent played that one pretty poorly, but drew above average. That is what it is. So, after playing the first game, I don't know how I feel about Once Upon a Time, because it finds Painter, but it doesn't find Grindstone. And, like, that's what we're looking for with this hand, but when we have the Painter in the opener and not the Grindstone, it's a little weird. We've got a turn 3 Goldfish. Just play like a forest. That's not a forest. If this is Ant, I want to play... If this is like Ant or Doomsday, I want to play the Painter this turn. But if this is just going to get hit by like a Daze or a Fatal Push or a Force of Will, I want this thing to go down and not the Painter Servant. Here's I've put my opponent in a strange position. Alright, they thought, they brainstorm. Now what? Let me channel the Magma. Art on this card is dope, by the way. Thumbnail background? Feels like thumbnail background. Although... Scratch Cabal Ritual. Damn. One? Okay. Destroy target non-creature, non-land permanent with mana value 2 or less. Target player mills 3 cards, then you return a land card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, so they returned a land and blew up my Grindstone. That's fine. So I can throw a Sundering Titan into the graveyard this turn and try to hit a land drop that way. I think that's fine. Oh, or we can just hit a welder. Welder is fucking sick here. Let's just play that out. I have a land that I can play next turn. Let's just keep my opponent's resources low. Then I can just like play Great Furnace, weld in Great Furnace, blow up presumably 2 of my opponent's lands. Looking at how this game is going, this is unlikely to turn into a 4-4. Or welder. Past this, it's threatening. I'm not going to play out the other welder here. I don't want to get got by like a toxic deluge. If my opponent fetches, I'll trade lands for lands. But I'm not really ready to blow up my lands yet. Like, I want more value out of this Sundering Titan. Sure. How big is this? 7, 10? Maybe it's fine. Or the painter for later. I want to blow up multiple of my opponent's lands. I guess I can just floop the Sundering Titan in and out of play. So this is mountain. So I don't have to blow up 2 of my lands. I also technically should have floated there, but I don't think that matters. Alright. Provoker's not doing me a lot of good. I think I'm gonna bin that. This land's not bad. Chromatic Star is also not bad. It's a very good welder target. I'm just gonna take the Chromatic Star. Alright, that's a turn. I can't really wasteland my Great Furnace currently because of Goblin Welder. I could blow up their land here with Sundering Titan. Don't know that it's actually good to do so. Another Tarmogoyf. Okay, now that starts to become interesting. Because my opponent can double block, and then I can, like, go on a land-based rampage. Alright, let's weld Chromatic Star into Painter. Draw a card out of that. Everything's blue. Really just looking for a land here. Oh, that's very good. With the land, I can just weld in Grindstone and potentially just win right now. Let's try to hit it. I think you're the worst card in my hand. I don't know. Maybe Imperial Recruiter is worse. Like, I have the creatures that I need. Yeah, that's a land. Just cast Magus of the Moon this turn, too. I could also just be super safe and get, like, Painter, like another Painter and another Welder in play this turn. I think I'm going to do that. I'm not worried about a sweeper anymore, I don't think. I don't know, like, it's possible that I just, like, played a bunch of bodies into a Toxic Deluge. I don't really feel it. I don't know, the Witherbloom command is kind of weird. I haven't seen too many Witherbloom command decks. But with this many Tarmogoyfs, it feels like this is, like, Ant Wasteland, this feels closer to Delver than not. Alright, my opponent just played a land and passed. Good with that. Do I just want to weld in a Grindstone now? I don't think so, because that, like, opens up my Great Furnace to being wastelanded. Now we go? Now we probably go. I want to start welding out Sundering Titan. Blow up my opponent's lands. Got, like, Abrupt Decay to think about. I could also just straight up cast Magus of the Moon and continue to play patiently. I kind of want to hit another land drop and get rid of this Goblin Welder. Yeah. Like that. Just really make things awkward for my opponent in terms of, like, Abrupt Decay style cards. This will also give me information about whether or not basics are in my opponent's deck. Alright, Force of Will, pitching Daze. That's fine. think I just chill. I just continue to chill. Possible I should just wasteland Bayou. It's also possible I should have just gone for a kill by now. Sure. If my opponent doesn't do anything with their turn, I think I'm going to wasteland their wasteland, which prompts them to wasteland me. And then I welder, great furnace, or grindstone. Then I can just get it back on my own turn. Though I don't know, that might be greedy. I can just kind of continue to play things safe and win at my convenience. Like, I have the ground covered. My opponent isn't killing me. I'm gaining resources. My opponent isn't. They have to respect my combo. And I just get to, like, keep playing my combo. Would like to fatal push a welder. That seems like a great time to use a welder then. Weld chromatic star or grindstone. Now your fatal push can resolve. I'll let you go to your turn. I will attempt to kill you. Okay. I'm not sure if we played that one patiently enough, not patiently enough. Hard to say, but I feel like we have good resources for this sort of matchup. I think I want the Carpet of Flowers, even though they're a little hard to cast. I think I want Wormcoil over Sundering Titan. I think I want Pyrokinesis. It's weird because it's not good against Goyf, but it'll be good against, like, say, a Delver. Maybe start with boarding these 4. So I'll swap Sundering Titan for Wormcoil, I think. I don't know. Sundering Titan is just bigger than Goyf's, and sometimes Wormcoil trades with a Goyf. I know I don't want Revoker. That can go. I can very easily shave a couple of Once Upon a Times. Maybe all of them. I don't know how typical 18 lands is for this deck. Like, I have 20 mana sources, counting the 2 Lotus Petals, and maybe you can call it 21 with Once Upon a Times. Maybe a slightly bit more with Carpet of Flowers, even. This is probably okay. I have Meekstone and Ensnaring Bridge as defensive options, Magus of the Moon as a lights out card, Wormcoil as thick big body that can help me stabilize or come back. I did see Baleful Strix, which kind of makes me want Pyrokinesis. That can just clear the way of smaller stuff. I don't know about Pyrokinesis. I think I'm gonna submit like this and kind of see. I mean, this is a turn 2 Goldfish. I don't think I get to throw that back. Like, I don't love the Ancient Tomb hands against Delver style decks, but this has so much explosive potential, and with a land, it becomes just disgusting. Sorry, with a red land, any red land, it just becomes disgusting, and I have such the ability to grind. Alright, didn't get wastelanded. Right. Well. For what it's worth, I think that's bad abrupt decay timing. I think you're supposed to wait until end of turn. There's scarier things that exist. I think I will play 2 to play Grindstone here. Alright, I need a land. Yeah, I don't care about this. That's fine. Red land. Not gonna play this. Alright, I'm in a holding pattern. I'm not taking any damage right now. This is fine. Okay. Still fine, but scarier. Like, my opponent has 3 cards in graveyard, 4 cards in graveyard. Alright. I might just get clowned here. Alright, well. Play to your outs. Don't daze me. Alright, now let's just rip a land off the top. Opponent has nothing. Easy. Okay, maybe not easy. Alright, will I get fatal pushed? Oh. Now, I still do need to top deck the land here in order to win from this spot, even if my opponent misses off of the second brainstorm. So it's not like everything is like hunky-dory A-okay. My position's still bad. My opponent can play an Uro next turn based on the mana they have. They have blue, blue, green, green already. I can just get Abrupt Decayed and get totally wasted here. Oh, land, fuck. That's a little disappointing. 3 mana, 2 mana. All right. I regret nothing on the keep, by the way. Still, I think the keep was fine. So my opponent drew 2 there, which I'm actually taking as a sign of weakness because of the brainstorm last turn. There's not actually too many cards that I care about here. It needs to be like land plus fatal push or something like that, or wasteland. All right. See if they're dead. Oh my god, they're just dead. I might be a little tilted if I were in the opponent's position, right? Like, they brainstormed, Sylvan Library Road, and just found no interaction. Okay, so here's the cost of the 1 basic forest, right? I can put a Goblin Welder into play with this hand, but this hand doesn't really have a plan to win. Like, I have some mana acceleration, but I'm just gonna mulligan this one. This one I'm gonna keep. My opponent does have a Jegantha, which can mean a number of different things. I'm just gonna throw back the Revoker here and keep all my mana and blasts. So Jegantha could mean some sort of lands type of deck pretty easily. Like the Reclaimer style deck. Who needs this mana more? I think it's me. I think I need them. I don't think I wasteland here. Because I have turn 2 Painter's Servant, turn 3 Double Blast plus Wasteland. That's pretty gross. Oh? Yep. Oh, that's fucking insane. That is literally the best draw in my deck right there. Everything's blue. And let's just blast this out of the way. Pew pew. Alright. Now that that's gone, Ensnaring Bridge can do a lot of cleanup versus other big scary things in this deck like Primeval Titan. And then I can just hope to like not get Wasteland locked. I'm not gonna have too much of an ability to play around that. And I'm also not sure if I'm supposed to fetch the basic forest with this second Wooded Foothills, or whether it just needs to be more red mana so that I can multi-spell. I'll figure that out in a bit. Alright, Sylvan Scrying. Don't know exactly how my opponent's deck is going to look. Like, I don't know what exactly they're going to get here. Okay, they're just going to go for a Wasteland. That's fine. Yes, just blow up the Ancient Tomb. I got it. I know what's going on. Ooh, Life from the Loam. Okay. I mean, that makes some of my options considerably worse currently. My Wasteland, for example. It's fine. Not 100% sure if I'm supposed to just trade point of damage for point of damage here, because I won't block a Dryad Arbor if it comes in. Alright. So, Green Sun for 3. Gonna be like a Ramunap Excavator, Tireless Tracker, another Dryad, another Dryad. That's very good. That means Valakut is live again. Actually, why didn't I counter that? Well, I know why I didn't counter that. It's because I had to reboot my recording software. And I was distracted by that. My opponent should fetch in response. Do I hope my opponent messes up here? I think I hope that my opponent messes up here and doesn't know to fetch. Yeah, so you all didn't see this, but my recording software crashed. And I was getting it back up when my opponent cast that spell. Like, the misplay is on me, but, like, that's why I misplayed. My head was not fully in the game there. My opponent's been playing a little slowly, so I've been like pausing, unpausing as they've been tanking. I don't mean it as an insult, just a matter-of-fact statement. If my opponent plays out fetch lands, they can have removal for Painter's Servant just kind of chilling, and they have access to those. Yeah, I think I'm going to lose this one, just didn't blast this. And that sucks, because otherwise I think I have not a lock on the game, but a much better situation. I don't know, like they can just play a Primeval Titan at any time and annoy me. They also may have some number of outs to an Ensnaring Bridge deck. This also might be the point where I just go ahead and scoop things up. Like, I'm going to die very quickly to that Valakut. Those Valakuts. Yeah. Like, next turn, levels of soon. I'm gonna go ahead and throw in the towel here. Alright. This plays on me. Let's move on. Purple Flowers is kind of a hilarious deck. I don't think I'm going to do that, but it's funny. I think I want Pyrokinesis, just because it's so important to kill some other things like Ramunap, Excavator, and the Dryad. No, not Ancient Dread, Pyrokinesis. And I'm not sure if Sundering Titan is better for me than Wurmcoil. They do different things. Like Sundering Titan can obliterate my opponent's mana base. Maybe I play both here, because the game will sometimes go long. I don't think I care about Reclaimer enough to play this. Magus is still fine. I'm just shaving these like I'm doing every time. Probably. Probably an indication that like they just shouldn't be in the deck. I don't know, that it's so nice to help find Painter. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have the reps in with this deck to know how necessary the Once Upon a Times are to its opening hand caliber. This is fine. Not overly exciting. It doesn't have as much mana as I want, but it has access to the entire combo and some degree of redundancy along with that. I think that's fine. Welder go? That's the whole combo in hand. I think I will just play out the Painter this turn, though. Because then that gives me Pyroblast plus Grindstone next turn. I would pretty happily just, like, Pyroblast a land. I don't get to wasteland my opponent here. I don't think. I'll just hold up Pyroblast. And I think I don't attack with Welder. Not sure exactly what my opponent has, but feels like something. I can also just like Pyroblast a land here, but I think this is protection at this stage. Yeah. No, that's fine. Do I want to go on the offensive here? I can blow up both of my opponent's lands. Wasteland 1, Pyroblast the other. Sitting on Grindstone. I don't think I want to do that. I'm so close. I need 1 mana. I have a Great Furnace in there. But I can't quite do some of the tricksy tricks. I'm just going to Grindstone, hold up Pyroblast for anything that can kill Painter. And then I can weld out Great Furnace for a Grindstone and get a kill next turn. Yeah, sure. You are threatening enough that I think I go ahead and Pyroblast you. Okay. Now what? Are you dead? I will weld here. Weld a Grindstone for that land. Getting lightning. Oh, nope, not getting lightning bolted. Opponent is just conceding. Okay. Alright, now I'm on the draw. Do I want the Once Upon a Times or the Carpets? I'm not sure how good Ensnaring Bridge actually is. It can stop Titan, but I think, I don't know, like, a Valakut or a Field of the Dead might beat me anyway, even if I Ensnaring Bridge. Maybe that's not what I want. Maybe I just want the extra Once Upon a Times for consistency here. Yeah. I don't know. But like Magus of the Moon plus Ensnaring Bridge is a pretty hard lock. I could also go down on something like Channeler. My opponent has access to Bojuka Bog. Some of the graveyard-based stuff becomes a little bit less reliable. What if I go down like 1 Engineer and 1 Channeler, or the 2 Once Upon a Times? IDK feels alright. Hand's fine. I wish it had the Painter naturally, but I think I keep this. Oh. Lotus Petal. That makes turn 1 way better. Alright. Lotus Petal, Ancient Tomb, Goblin Engineer. Yes, Goblin Engineer finds Painter Servant. Put Grindstone into play. Nice. Okay, so that's like an Elvish Reclaimer. That's not very threatening. Not threatening. Alright. I have 4 mana. Can I do this with Chromatic Star somehow? I need a red mana to get back Painter Servant, and then I don't have what I'm looking for. I can go down to 3, which includes a red mana. But I need 4 for my kill. I have the kill pretty easily next turn. Maybe I should just get the Painter into play and Pyroblast the Elvish Reclaimer, and that's good. And I can't get Wastelanded off my mana. Yeah, alright, so let's play a Chromatic Star. Let's weld Painter Servant for... Oh, hold on. I need to do this. I need the red. Oh, do I weld Grindstone this turn? Maybe I weld Grindstone this turn so I can convert into a red. Oh, that's weird. I have enough mana next turn. Yeah. Okay. A red. Sacrifice Grindstone. Everything is blue. Now filter to red. Draw a card. Once Upon a Time is not what I'm looking for here. Let's Pyroblast Elvish Reclaimer so that I cannot get Wastelanded. Actually, now I'm down an artifact since I used Chromatic Star for filtering. Maybe that wasn't ideal. Okay. Once Upon a Times aren't castable here. This is a bad turn cycle for me. I don't gain much of an advantage here. And these Once Upon a Times aren't castable. And yeah, maybe this isn't as good as I thought it was initially. Or maybe I just played this turn cycle wrong. Don't take that damage. That's very good. Okay, opponent's dead. 1, 2, 3, 4. Activate, hold priority, swap it for Painter. Yeah. In case you don't know how this trick works. You hold priority, activate Grindstone, target the opponent. You pay your mana. Now with that on the stack, you weld the Grindstone for the Painter. and then you don't need to have the grindstone in play to kill your opponent. Alright, cool. For Rubbins, I believe the technical term. Enter! My opening hand has no mana. Oh, this hand's good. I don't think I need 3 Magmatic Channelers. And I think I'll wait for Once Upon a Time until my turn. I think I don't want to get this dazed. I think I will likely play the Grindstone this turn. Ooh. Magus of the Moon is coming later. Like, at this point, given how good the rest of this hand is, I think I'm good with throwing Grindstone into a daze. It's most likely that we're playing against Delver, but it's not a sure thing. But if my opponent plays a Sprite Dragon here, like, that would totally not surprise me. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Magus of the Moon, not particularly good. I think that's just going to be Magmatic Channeler food. I think I want to play Magmatic Channeler and Wasteland my opponent off of red. And if this doesn't resolve, I keep my land. Now, if my opponent goes land Lightning Bolt, I'm pretty far behind. But if they don't, I think I've given myself a situation where I can maybe keep up with the Sprite Dragon. Yeah, we're gonna get Delvered this game. Sprite Dragon doesn't even need very much gas to just obliterate me. Yeah, I'm not going to whack the concede button because we have a 2-card combo kill and we have one of those cards already. But I do not expect to win this game. Fair. Fair. I guess I can start thinking about this. Pyrokinesis, Carpet, Meekstone, Wormcoil, 5 cards. Magus will be one of the ones I board out, and I'm not sure from there. The Delver should flip. I'll take 7 in the air, and then I'll be dead. I don't think I have outs anymore. I guess I could, like, draw land, Magmatic Channeler into Ensnaring Bridge. Now Daze shuts off that line. Yeah, I'm dead. Guess I can blast. Dead. Since I'm dead, take a look at a couple of my opponent's cards via Grindstone on the way out. We see a Wasteland and a Brainstorm. Nothing exciting there. Not that we were expecting anything exciting from Blue-Red Delver. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Thundering Titan can come out. Magus of the Moon can come out. The Once Upon a Times are going to be a little hard to cast. They help me find lands, which is nice, but I don't have that many fetch lands. I think I like this. I could also see keeping some number of these and swapping out for Magmatic Channelers. But I feel pretty comfortable with where this is at. This hand does not have a plan. Is 2 basics plus 2 removal spells good enough to not have a plan to start with? Maybe. Like, maybe my opponent just spends resources on some Goblin Welders and Goblin Engineers early, and then I start to grind in the mid-game. But I don't know about this. That said, it's not like the hands with the plans. Grammar. Not like many of my hands that do, in theory, have a plan actually get to orchestrate their plan easily versus Delver, so maybe this is fine. And I don't think I'm supposed to start taking Ancient Tomb damage here to play around days. Like, the Goblin Engineer is important, don't get me wrong. But my life total is more important. I will also not Pyrokinesis on my opponent's turn into days if they play something like a Delver. Just not going to make sense for me as a trade. In an ideal world, I would eat up multiple creatures with 1 Pyrokinesis. But, yeah, I don't know that that's actually going to happen. This Pyrokinesis is coming in just because I need extra things to take the early pressure off and get to the point where I can start grinding. Now, I can play Imperial Recruiter with Pyroblast backup here. I think that's good enough to actually just do it. I think I take the damage here. I need to get some artifacts to get anything going. Grab a Painter Servant. Get him. Possible Goblin Engineer is better there, so I can put Ensnaring Bridge into the graveyard. Blue, huh? That doesn't make lightning bolts. Alright. Okay. We'll deal with that the old-fashioned Pyroblast way. I start here. Really weird whether or not... Maybe I fetch first. Fetch the basic green. Then go Painter Servant. Everything is blue. Now it's a question of, like, do I want to play around Force of Negation by Pyroblasting later? Or do I want to give my opponent the opportunity to, like, Brainstorm or Fluster or Pierce? I think I just want to try and get this now. I'll turn on about 2 more cards. But I give my opponent fewer potential looks at outs. Hey, Livy. They're now in hardcast Pyroblast territory. Sorry, Pyrokinesis. I think I hold back Welder. I can sack Lotus No, that's not actually good. Yeah. Let's battle. My opponent doesn't have red mana and they can't remove my stuff. Fine. Sure. Guess I also could have held the Lotus Petal to pitch to Pyrokinesis, but well, I mean, I didn't want to do that. I fucking forgot about the Null Rod. Didn't answer that. So just hard cast Pyrokinesis. That was fucking dumb. Alright. Alright. That was just stupid on my end. What is this last card? Force of Negation. Yeah, that was just dumb. I should have hard cast Pyrokinesis. Ugh. Round 14 of Magic for me today. Getting a little sloppy. Yeah, now I have to deal with Force of Negation. I did a dumb. See if I can recover from it. Now it's very possible that, like, if I would have hardcast the Pyrokinesis, my opponent just would have, like, dazed or something, or had a force. Alright, I think on my opponent's upkeep, I'll pitch cast Pyrokinesis. Well, could just hard cast, but pitch cast seems good. Just play around the soft counter magic. Can't get an artifact into the graveyard to start welding Chromatic Star in and out anyway. 4 damage. Okay. Oh no, it's only a red card. Not red currently. I'm used to doing this with Force of Will, where that trick always just works. Alright. Okay. Yeah, getting a little sloppy towards the tail end of the day here. Yeah, it's kind of daggers that this is not active currently for my last mana for the Pyrokinesis. My opponent makes their land drop for the turn. It also means that just like drawing a blast and then blasting in the upkeep isn't guaranteed to resolve because they can just hardcast Force of Negation. My position is not great. So I can cast Pyrokinesis now and make them pitch cast Force Negation rather than hardcast it on their turn. Or I could try to catch them with their pants down with a Pyrokinesis. We just confirm this cannot hit face, not hit face. 3, 1, okay. And if they pitch cast here, then that's a counter spell that won't counter a blast later. Force of negation, pitching a daze. Fine. Alright, let's top deck a blast and win. I don't have much time left. Like, a lightning bolt just kills me here. Alright, so if this brainstorm is taking this long, I'm not just dead. That's the good news. Bad news is, if they're having to think about this, cards are probably fine. What? Why did we take that long? I'm F6'd. Okay. If I count this as a 2-lander, I think this hand is totally reasonable. I'm gonna go ahead and keep it. And I think I'll wait and cast the Once Upon a Time on my turn, get a little deeper in my deck. Oh, are we just getting turn 1? Wow. Oops. Yeah, Once Upon a Time doesn't do anything about that. That's disappointing. I'm also not going to have a lot of interaction versus deck. Alright, there's the Thassa's Oracle, there's the Dread Return, there's 4 Narcomoebas, the Pact version. Okay. Next round will be quick. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. 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 Center Titan not really doing much here, and Snaring Bridge not really doing much. Hold on, why do I have Ancient Grudges? I don't want Ancient Grudges. This stuff's all fine. We're not gonna go to Magmatic Channeler amounts of mana, I don't think. Or rather, amounts of time. These games are gonna be over quick. One way or another. I'm looking to goldfish my opponent. I might drop all of the Magmatic Channelers. Like, they're cool, but they're not really what I'm looking to do. I'm just looking to have it in the opening hand, or I'm looking to have a disruption card. I don't know what my last cut is. Maybe a welder. Engineer at least finds the combo piece. Welder doesn't do that. Actually, is welder worse than Magmatic Channeler? Maybe. Like, Magmatic Channeler can loot and look for some of this disruptive stuff. Like, how am I getting the artifacts into the graveyard in the first place in this matchup? I'm just not. Okay. Yeah, maybe I've changed my mind here. I don't really think Magmatic Channeler is great either, but maybe this is fine. Could also consider Ancient Grudging my opponent's artifact mana, but I don't know how often they're going to play that out versus me. I don't have match heuristics here. Yeah. This is fine. See if my opponent mulls into Oblivion looking for a crazy hand. They did not. Lotus Petal first. That's going to be my one source of red mana, unfortunately. Sure. That Archimeba, sure. That's actually very good for me, right? That means that Red Elemental Blast is now live to destroy one Narcomoeba and keep my opponent from Dread returning. That's actually fucking insane. I can... Okay, so this turn, if I'm willing to not hold up Red Elemental Blast, I can Imperial Recruiter and shut off that Chromox. Imperial Recruiter for Phyrexian Revoker, play Phyrexian Revoker. That puts pressure in play. And if I top deck any red source, I'll have Red Elemental Blast up again. I don't know if my opponent is gonna... This might be risky. But, like, with a Thorn in play, I don't think this is that risky. Like, I do need to kill my opponent at the end of the day. And this line puts 3 power in play, whereas the other line puts 0 power into play. Oh, well. So I don't have Red Elemental Blast up anymore, but now I have Surgical up. I have a clock in play. My opponent missed a land drop. Life's okay. Not good. Okay. Great. Lands would be cool, though. Nice. I think I just block for 3 a turn. I think 3 a turn is enough with 2 pieces of other disruption. Like, I can Recruiter for another Revoker and shut off Blue Thread Spire, Undersea, and Informer, whichever one has the activated ability, but I think it's just better to hold up both Red Elemental Blast and Surgical. It feels hard to lose with both of those up. Sure. Yeah, so this basic forest has cost me a lot. This is just another turn where, and last turn was as well, where I can't just, like, easily double spell the way that I want to, or, like, I can't Recruiter and then also hold up another thing. Also possible that my opponent doesn't realize that Red Elemental Blast beats them. They have a bridge from below. That's unfortunate. Yeah, now... Yeah, the bridge from below makes it so that... Oh wait, hold on. Can they cast Dread Return? Do they have another Spirit Guide? I have Thorn of Amethyst in play. Do we get a shame concession here? We just got a shame concession. Okay. So, I don't remember whether or not they had the bridge in game 1. I don't think they did. But now that they have that, the line that I was playing towards doesn't work, so I should have just recruited for Evoker and revoked Balustrade Spy. Let me just confirm that it is Balustrade. No, it's Undercity Informer. Undercity Informer is the one with the activated ability. Alright, with Thorn of Amethyst, does it make sense to Ancient Grudge? Makes less sense on the draw than it does on the play. But again, maybe something like Magmatic Channeler is just... yeah. I don't know. I have so little turn 0 interaction. Like, it's literally just 2 surgicals. That's it. That's all I can do. This hand does not have a turn 0 or turn 1 play. I think it needs to go back. I could maybe consider keeping a turn 2 Goldfish. That's like Painter grinds down 2 soul lands. I don't think I keep the no-lander. Even though it has surgical, I don't think I keep it. No. I will keep 4 of these. Probably these 4. Use Once Upon a Time to get a land. It's possible the Magus of the Moon is better than the Painter's Servant because this is just a way to shut off a whole bunch of mana production. But if I want to play towards like goldfishing my opponent as quickly as possible, then Painter's Servant is the answer. Mm. Yep. And now I'll see if Surgical does it. There sure are 3 Pact of Negations in the graveyard right now. There are 3 packs of negations. Ancient Tomb seems... well, it doesn't matter. Like, Surgical resolves or Surgical doesn't resolve. Doesn't really matter whether I hit the Narcomoebas or the Oracle here. I guess I'll target the Oracle. Alright. Your last card, the 4th Pact. Their last card is the 4th Pact. They mulled to 6 and had exactly enough cards to turn 1 with packed backup. That's annoying. Like I kept a hand that gave me a fair chance of beating my opponent. Um, but you know, it is what it is. You can't win them all. All right. We ended up 2-3 in this league. I think I played round 4 kind of poorly. I think this could have been a 3-2 league. I was not as tired and was playing tighter. Okay. Thoughts on the league? The league was fine. The league was enjoyable and fun, and I think there's a lot going on with this list. Um, I like Magmatic Channeler more than I like Once Upon a Time. Because Once Upon a Time doesn't find both your combo pieces. Once Upon a Time is a cantrip that finds Painter, but it doesn't actually find Grindstone. So like it finds Painter or a land or sometimes some of the other bridge stuff that you need. But I'm not really sure that that's where you want to be. If I was going to explore this shelf further, like with the green specifically, I would consider trying Abundant Harvest over Once Upon a Time, or maybe in addition to Once Upon a Time, to try to give this deck some filtering. Chromatic Star wasn't really what I was looking for. I expected that like this thing leaving play, drawing the card would be fine, but in reality that wasn't true because sometimes your welders and engineers have eaten it to too many removal spells on the way, along the way. Like once you're going and doing the thing, like it's totally fine that this is when it's put into a graveyard rather than when it ETBs. But when you're not doing the thing, or when you like need to use this in other ways, sometimes the card timing is really awkward. So like that's not a clear replacement for Astrolabe. I still do wonder about a turbo version that is playing more LEDs just to go faster. Like with the welders and engineers and stuff, you already grind pretty well, but sometimes you need to find that artifact to grind in and out in the first place. And even this list still maybe felt a little light on that count because you are playing more Once Upon a Times. As far as the sideboard, I felt like I had good access to the sorts of things that I wanted. Um, but yeah, like in round 4, I just played with Pyrokinesis badly. Feel like I'm a little soft to non-blue combo, kind of like we saw in that last round there. But the tools that I have access to are good. The deck list is interesting, and I hope you enjoyed watching it. If you did, throw me a like, throw me a comment, throw me a subscription if you're regularly into legacy content. Those sorts of things mean a lot. We'll be playing Painter one more time at some point next week. We're going to be trying out a red-black version. This was the draft that's sent to me, but we're gonna try to fix this one up because every Crochet deck that I've played has been real rough. But more on that next week. Have a great rest of the day, folks. See ya.